know, with the cover of her new book, and I loved it. It was simple, it was colorful, and it was exactly what Greece is about. And so I decided in that moment that Girl Gone Greek was going to be my summer beach read. I'd been too stressed out, and I needed a little downtime. And Girl Gone Greek was perfect, it was simple, it was easy, it was exactly what I needed. So I'll take you back to about the end of June this year, beginning of July, when a referendum and capital controls were about all that we were heard about and read about in the news. And in the first time in my life of 8 years living here, I actually thought about leaving. And it was hard, it was really hard, because every piece of me loves living here. My business was running on low for way too long, and my husband and I talked about our future outside of Greece one too many times that I could handle. But my strong feeling of wanting to be here always overpowered it. And I promised myself that I'd take August and do nothing, and relax, and take my beach read. So we packed our bags, and I headed out, grabbed my beach read, and we went to southern Greece. And Girl Gone Greek was exactly what I needed. It was light, it was easy, and it made me remember. It made me remember of all the reasons of why I love living here, and why I'll do everything possible to keep living here. So I've grown up in Toronto, Canada, to a Greek father and a Canadian mother, and we spend every summer here. In my father's hometown, just outside of Athens. At the end of each summer, I had a painful feeling of having to go back home to Canada. At the time, I didn't understand what that was. But like Rachel in the book has said, there's something about this place that makes you look forward to going back and maybe even staying a while. As a teenager, I remember telling my mom after another summer in Greece, "Mom, just so you know, I'll be leaving one day." And she said, "Yes, honey, I know." I'm sure heartbroken and stomach turning. Anyway, after university, I got on a plane with a one-way ticket, and I bound for my new life in Greece. But there wasn't an ounce of fear or uncertainty because I loved Greece. It was where I felt like me. It was where I always felt like home. And after a few years of living here, and especially after running Expat Athens, I discovered that I wasn't the only person that felt this way. Similar to Rachel, I felt that Greece had a way of sucking people in a positive way. Despite all the wrong things that we can find about Greece, there's something about this place that just sticks. It makes us all want to be here. As August came to an end and I had completed Girl Gone Greek, it got me thinking about why I love living here so much. And there are 1,000 reasons. But something that stood out from my summer read was the feeling of contentment. I used to think that being content was a bad thing. But like Rachel's father, his words of wisdom to his daughter, contentment defies explanation. It naturally becomes a part of you, and such is living in Greece. There were numerous other points in the book that I connected with Rachel as a character, perhaps as a female in a different country, as an individual who had to overcome personal insecurities and family judgment. But Girl Gone Greek was exactly what the doctor ordered. And Rebecca, thank you for publishing in July, because it was exactly what I needed to read. And I hope you'll enjoy it as well. Before I pass things over to Rebecca, I'd just like to say a very, very warm thank you to Rosemary and everybody here at the Athens Centre for generously hosting us tonight. And to Aya and Katerina from Living in Lovin for supporting us in promotion of the event, and for all of you for being here this evening.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Eleanor. I would also like to extend my thanks to, first of all, to the Athens Centre. It's a fantastic venue, I think you'll all agree. To Expat Athens as well, thank you Eleanor, and thank you for your positive endorsements. You've given me a real confidence boost. To Living Loving for also helping to support the event, and to Costa here at the back, who is also taking photographs. He's going to pull them. Thank you. Okay, so, and lastly, before I forget, sorry, thank you to you, because without you, my audience, without my supporters, Girl Gone Greek would not be possible. She's born because I know that I think I can reach a good audience with her. So thank you very much. Okay, and I know that Rachel, the protagonist of the book, or the protagonist, would be very surprised and very humbled at the turnout today. So she thanks you too. She thanks you very much. Now, what's in a name? Why call the book Girl Gone Greek? Well, it says that everybody has two homes, and I really believe this. There's the place that they were born and the place that they live, and also the place that they resonate with. Now, the place you resonate with might not necessarily be the place that you were born. If you're lucky, you may actually live in the place that you resonate with. And this, finally, as Rachel's father says in her book, this is where you find contentment. I'd like to actually just refer you to a passage in the book where we talk about that contentment issue. Rachel is talking to her father over a cup of traditional British tea. He's saying to her, "Was I right, Rachel? Has your dromomania settled down?" I'd had to look up that phrase after Dad had first mentioned that he suspected I suffered from it. And I was supposed to be the English teacher. I'm not sure, but I know one thing. There is something about the place that makes me look forward to going back and maybe staying a while. And the weather helps, of course, when it's warm. Well, in Greece, you can do many things deemed illegal in most other European countries, he snorted. There's a type of anarchy that appeals to the inner anarchist of us all. I knew you'd like it there, and your inability to put your finger on exactly why you like it, that's called contentment, love. Once you finally attain it, it defies any explanation. It naturally becomes a part of you. Don't spend too much time analysing it, just accept it. Okay, so you could say that Girl Gone Greek is actually a metaphor how the protagonist finally found herself and found a country that she resonates with. I want to hasten to add, it sounds a bit esoteric, but it's not. It's not a completely esoteric book. It's the first impressions and a humorous account of a young lady, an account of life in a different culture. That leads me on to my next excerpt for you from the book about some of the cultural differences we experience. Although we're in one continent, there can be no difference or no strong difference between the UK and Greece, trust me. And I think that people who are from the same continent and maybe from the UK can definitely agree with me. Okay, so Rachel is having coffee with her best friend, Calliope, who might be here in the audience, I'm not sure. Yes, she is. She's not actually called Calliope. Whether she wants to make herself known to us later, I will see. But she might laugh, chuckle inwardly to see when I read this bit. Calliope is speaking to me. She's saying, "Yes, we here in Greece, we fight. How you say, like the cat and the mouse." I desperately wanted to tell her it was actually cat and dog, but she wasn't letting me because she was on a roll. "But at least we get it over and finished with. We scream. I tried to scratch my sister Stavrula's eyes out once," she reflected rather flippantly, her own eyes clouding at the memory. "We throw things, but then it's finished. You people, you let things build up inside of you for months on end. You hold, how you say? Yes, you hold these grudges things. You know, the things that lead to cancer, ultimately." I desperately wanted to tell Calliope that the thing that she was dragging on for her life was probably actually contributing to cancer too, but again, I couldn't get a word in edgeways. This is just an example of some of the cultural differences that I found and that Rachel found. Now moving on to why. Why did I want to write Girl Gone Greek? Yes, it's light-hearted, and as Eleanor kindly pointed out, she got a lot from it, and it was light, it was a lovely beach read. But at the time I started it, Greece was going through, and has been going through, as you're all aware of, a very, very bad time, and having a lot of difficult, negative press. And this made me very angry, because this was not the Greece that I knew and that I had experienced and was continuing to experience. I wanted to show an international audience another side of Greece, through an expat eyes, the eccentricity, the characteristics, and ultimately the humaneness that I experienced, the philoxenia. So Greece can be frustrating, as we know, but it can also be very enduring. Yes, the central character has very difficult struggles, internal struggles, and ultimately it's Greece that helps her overcome it. Its people, its beauty, and my last extract for you is how it helps her overcome it. The central character has gone to an island, Santorini. She's sitting there, she's having a coffee. The owner of the coffee shop comes down, uninvited, and just joins her. She's speaking to him. I feel as if Greece is my family, and she's looking after me. It's the first time I've felt truly accepted in a family, after never really being accepted in my own. I bit my tongue, thinking maybe I'd actually said too much. Greece does this to people. It sucks them in, but in a positive way. Some people aren't able to see beyond the surface beauty of this place. Nikos sighed as he swept his arm towards the setting sun. Others, such as yourself, Copella, you have experienced the real Greeks and their hospitality. What is there even to consider? Go back to your country with the rain, the wind, the cold, and your Malaximeni sister, or stay here and experience blue skies every day. He leaned forward in his seat as if he was about to impart something top secret. I see it in your eyes. You've embraced this culture, and you feel accepted here. Of course you must stay. So I've given you a taster, I hope, and so has Eleanor, has hopefully given you a taster of what we can experience, or what you can experience with Go Greek. Eleanor and I will be sitting here. I'll be doing some signings. If you'd like to purchase my book, I would love it. Thank you very much for taking the time to come tonight. We have drinks and food outside, and I do hope you feel that you will become a Go Greek too. Thank you.